Here we go. Here we go. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. Tell a friend, tell a friend. Here we have another crazy story, another crazy story. Cash out. Cash out. He got himself found guilty. I did make another video about it. I was so wrong. I said, you know what? He probably get about 15 years. I was so wrong. I had no idea that he was such a terrible individual until I heard everything they were saying in court. Imagine that. Imagine having no idea somebody was a terrible individual until you finally hear what, the victims went through. Imagine that. But either way, they got him. They got him and his mother. Imagine that. Mama! I mean, it's one of those things, though. But imagine that. I mean, it's one of those things, though. But he's saying, you know what? You know that these individuals always have things to say. They always say, you know what, I didn't do it. But hear what he's saying about he didn't do it.
Good morning today, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I want to start out by thanking you for giving us a fair trial. I want to thank the jurors for the amount of time that they put in to judge this trial. This time being on this trial, I was able to see how the jurors are put in a tough position to sit there and judge someone's life, and, it's a hard decision, and I felt like they made the wrong judgment. I've done things in my life. I'm not perfect, but the things I've been accused of, I know that I haven't done those things. I know it's typical for a person to come up here and, show remorse to, crimes that they have done, but I can only show remorse to the people that I know that was in this trial, which is not remorse on behalf of like I did anything to them, because if you know me, and people who really know me know that I wouldn't force anybody to do anything. I met women, I dated women who were doing escort or whatever, however people want to look at it from a moral standpoint, but who was doing these things as a grown woman. I've only dealt with grown women. Nothing was forced. Nothing was coerced or anything of that nature. If you notice, before this trial, no woman can say anything about me before this trial. If you notice, before this indictment, no woman can say anything about me before this indictment. I get the situations that people are put in when they're faced with a certain type of crime or a certain type of time, and they're bullied into this situation to put the blame on someone, or to put the blame on Cash Out, or to put the blame on someone who's at the top. That's why I didn't really fault them for their decision. I didn't fault for making her decision during a proffer. She just had a child. Mind you, she was just on video call with me while being incarcerated. I don't fault for doing the things she did with her proffer, because mind you, she was facing a certain amount of time handling her probation in different cases that she's on. I don't fault people for making accusations, because I'm a man that typically let women leave on their own behalf. Never held them in prison or held them in slavery or said, you can't leave me, or you can't do this. Every woman you seen come on this stand showed you that they left and came back willingly on their own. What I mean by that, they left on their own and they came back willingly on their own. During this trial, I was able to see, how valuable life is, and how valuable the people that you hang around, or the people that you even date, or the people that you even know, how valuable it is to judge their character. Sometimes I let people stay around who I knew was going to affect a situation that I had going on. So I don't, and for the people who came to this trial that I never met a day in my life, never had any contact with them, never had a text message with them, never had an interaction with them, don't even know where most of these stories came from. It's baffling. Never forced a woman to commit a sexual act. Never. I've been traveling all around the world from here to Dubai, and you would never hear a woman say that I forced them to do anything sexual or commit a rape with anybody. I don't hang around people that do things of that nature. I feel like and somebody asked me this the other day. It was like, every time I see your head high and you always smiling, because when you have that confidence, it takes me back to the Bible. When you have that confidence and you know you can be falsely accused of things. Jesus was falsely accused. A lot of the prophets were falsely accused. You don't have that emotion like you've done something. So if you see me with my head high, or if you see me smiling, it's because I know at the end of the day, through Jesus Christ, the Most High will always give you the actual judgment. So I really thank you for providing us a fair trial. Just me getting to know you during trial, I was like, she's just the judge. But when you sit 12 people in that panel and you have them, judge our lives and, put them in a position to judge our lives, it takes you back to, once again, the Bible, when people had to judge these prophets' lives. And I say, if you know me, you actually know me. There's plenty of people that know me in this world. There's plenty of people that know me in this jail. There's plenty of people that know me where I'm from. Like I say, once again, I'm not perfect. I come from certain areas. I come from, certain environments. I come from doing things in my past life before the music. But I'm here to tell you that if you sat in this trial and you paid attention to this trial, before these dates, no woman could ever say I done those things to them. Before these dates, you can go on my Instagram and see these women enjoying themselves, having their own things, living their own life. Before these dates, I can say you had these women that never had anything to say about me. Before this indictment, before the RICO, you had these women actually talking to me while I was incarcerated. I've been incarcerated for 4 years, and these women are interacting with me. These women who took the stand and supposedly scared of me, or monsters, or I'm a monster, or took these proffers. This wasn't the case before they was indicted. So from my perspective, I feel like some people can get bullied into a situation that they really don't really want to do. And I'm sitting here just holding my head high and just, feeling that one day the truth will come out. One day the truth will come out on my situation. One day the truth will come out on this rape allegation.
So that's what's going on with Cash Out right there. They say you got that life, plus you got that 70 years after that, 70. I mean, it's one of those things, though. You take advantage of people. You just put yourself in a position where other individuals could take advantage of you. Imagine that. Imagine going out of your way to take advantage of somebody just to make it possible for somebody to take advantage of you. Is he being taken advantage of? I don't know, but I have to admit, life is a long time. Imagine that. But I also have to admit, the terrible things that he's been accused of doing, it's going to affect the victims for a long time. Imagine that. Everything is a long time. Imagine that. So that's what's going on with Mr. Condo on my wrist. Unfortunately, he's no longer cashing out. He's no longer cashing out. He's going to be living like his mother got 30 years. Even that alone, you're going to say, man, I got my mama 30 years. Man, that's crazy. They say he didn't want to do shows. He wanted to make money another way. I have no idea why. The only thing I do know, they got him. They got him the right way. Like I said, I was so naive. Some people say, I was somewhat silly. Imagine being silly. I was really honestly thinking he'd probably get about 15 years the most. But I was so wrong. Like I said, I had no idea the full, the full scope of what was going on. Now, I listened. I said, wow. They said that they wanted to do him even dirty than that, but it wasn't an option. Imagine that. One of the victims said, you know what? I don't want him to be in jail. I want him to just get off the earth right now because he's a monster. Until next time, they say crime don't pay.